Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about my little incident that happens to me. I mean, not directly at me, but it was a situation that I encountered while I was in an airplane. I recently just came back from Thailand, and this incident happened on the way back from Korea to LAX. So basically, when I went in the plane, when I was boarded, my seat, I was sitting next to the window, and at the moment the two seat next to me was empty. And then the girl that was sitting behind me, she came with her boyfriend. The girl noticed that the two seat in the front was empty, so she told her boyfriend that she's gonna move to the front, which she did, by the way. So she moved to the front, sat down next to me, but she left the middle seat empty, right? When I first saw her make that move, I kind of look at her and be like, in my mind, I was like, you're so rude because you're supposed to sit on a seat that you pay for, okay? And if there's no passenger on my row, I feel like that's my luck that I get to sit by myself. So why are you taking over one of the seat next to me? Okay, but I didn't say anything because me, I don't want to cause problem. And think about this, okay? As soon as she sat down, the first thing that she does was she told her boyfriend to pass her belonging, backpack and shoes, okay? So he gave it to her, and guess what? She put her backpack and her shoe underneath the middle seat, the one that's empty. And I kind of look at her like, you know, I was sitting by myself. I did not even take advantage of the empty seat. I put my stuff on my spot. But look at her. As soon as she came, she automatically took advantage of the middle seat that was empty. First, she took advantage of one seat, and she's taking advantage of the second seat that's empty. And then after that, the part that's ridiculous the most is that the seat that she moved to, she grabbed everything from the airplane pocket, the magazine and all that. She grabs everything and she shoves them inside the pocket in the middle seat. And I kind of look at her like, what's the point of doing that? Why would you remove all the stuff from the airplane pocket from that seat to the middle seat? Like, how much more space do you need for yourself? Like, does it really make it that big of a difference? But anyway, I kept my mouth shut, and then I would say in the next 10 minutes, the passenger that belongs to those two seats came back. They came because they arrived late, and she was forced to go back to her seat pretty much. And I was so happy that that she went back to her seat. And you would think that she would stop, right? And guess what? She didn't end it. She didn't end there. Even though nothing happened, but this is what happened when she went back to her seat. When she went back to her seat, she started communicating with her boyfriend and told him that like later on she will check the front seat to see if they're empty, because she wants to move, right? She doesn't want to sit in between people. She wants to find a way to sit by herself. And then she was making a plan with her boyfriend that should she do it before dinner time or after dinner time, right? And then her boyfriend told her that if you move so many times, if you get caught, the flight attendant they might notice it and they might be wondering why she moves a lot. And guess what was her response? And before I tell you what her response was, let me tell you this from my experience. The response she gave to her boyfriend is the response I hate the most when it comes to customer versus staff, because it's just so selfish and it's so entitled, right? So when her boyfriend told her that if you move a lot and you get caught, the flight attendant might be noticing that you move a lot and they might be wondering why you move a lot. And this is her response. Her response was, I mean, I don't really care, because what are they gonna do? They cannot kick me out because I'm already boarded. So when I heard this type of comment, it triggers my anger so much, because I heard this comment a lot from American people, and she's Asian. She's an American, I'm pretty sure. You know how American people, a lot of people don't notice this, but American people, when the moment that you are a customer of something, of somewhere, you tend to be very entitled, because you feel like you have the right to do whatever the fuck you want because you're the customer, and staff cannot physically harm you no matter how rude you are to them, because if they retaliate against you, most likely, you know, what are you guys gonna do? At most, you guys just gonna call the company and possibly make up your own story to make the staff looks bad and get them fired. And I'm pretty sure she's that type of person. And I hate that so much when people have this entitled personality, selfish personality, and this thing what I call the I don't care personality, the I do whatever I want personality. As soon as she told her boyfriend that, I don't care, what are they gonna do to me? They cannot kick me out, I'm already boarded. At most they can do is ask me to go back to my seat. It makes me feel like, girl, you have no shame. You have no fucking shame. Like, she doesn't, like, don't you feel embarrassed about the fact that, like, people, even though, yeah, people are not gonna say anything, but you should at least feel ashamed that people see you get caught changing your seat. And you get caught by the flight attendant and they tell you to go back to your seat. I don't understand it, But, okay, here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, she ended up not moving at all. She sat throughout she sat on her seat throughout the whole flight. But I'm just telling you that when people have this type of personality, this attitude, I just hate it so much. And I'm not gonna lie, growing up in America, I've seen a lot of people with this attitude where they feel like, I don't care, the staff cannot do shit to me because or else they will lose their job. You see this a lot at fast food, especially in restaurants environment. You see this a lot where people they just become so selfish and they're so entitled because they think that they are above everyone. They think that like, oh, staff cannot do anything to me. Why do you think that in America we have culture of like rude customer? Because of this culture that we created, the culture that customers are God, and no matter what happened, the staff must remain professional at all time. This is why we have rude people. They get so mad, like for example in a restaurant environment, right? People get easily mad when a tiny mistake happens to their food. They demand refund, they demand their fucking free meal. And if they don't get it, they're gonna start attacking, staff. There's plenty of this type of incident on YouTube. You can look at it yourself. And this is one of the reasons why I hate American people and I hate our culture. Sometimes I don't want to fully blame America, but the reality from my experience, America, when you live in America and you grow up here, it does change your attitude. I've seen a few people that I knew where like back in Thailand, they were so humble, they were very nice, they were very traditional person. But once they arrive in America, the attitude changes, and most of the time, they become rude. And I bet you this girl is one of them. Like honestly, I'm telling you right now, like I was just thinking like, in my mind, I was like, dude, if you want your own personal space, then why the fuck you don't pay business class? Why are you in the economy class? And she also made another dumb comment to her boyfriend. She said that like, she thinks that it should be fine if she changed seat as long as she's in the economy class, because she's not going to the business class. She still stay in the same class. And when I heard that, it makes me feel like, you want to move. So no matter what, you're gonna find any fucking reason to support your action. And I hate it now because I feel like people in this generation are like that. In today's world, bro, no matter how rude, no matter what it is, no matter how rude it is, people will find any excuse or any reason to support their action just because they want to feel good with their wrongful action. They want to excuse themselves. And honestly, I hate it so much. And like America, society is just terrible. Like I'll tell you this right now, I literally came back to the country on Wednesday, this Wednesday. And guess what happened in my neighborhood? The next day, the police blocked my neighborhood because they found a suspected murder. Okay, and it came since 10 o'clock, and the street was blocked until like 3 p.m. right? And then in the same night, last night, I went for a walk in my neighborhood around 11 p.m. And guess what? There's a chopper chasing a stolen car. And in my mind, I feel like I came back to this shit. And then I found out last night from my neighbor that 6 months ago in my condo, someone got stabbed in the parking lot. But the police came and had the body wrapped up in the morning. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on with my neighborhood? You know, like, I came back to this shithole, and this is supposed to be the greatest country. No, it's not the greatest country. America raised people to be bad because of our freedom culture, the entitlement personality, the entitlement attitude. It just changes people. And me being Asian, seeing that girl act like that, it just makes me sad because I know Asian people are not supposed to be like this. But unfortunately, that lady possibly was born here and she developed the American attitude. You know, that selfish, entitled, freedom attitude. That's why she's the way she is. I mean, she could be a good person overall, but her attitude at that moment really reminds me of how most Americans are, and it's sickening to me because American, in my opinion, are just too selfish. You know, when they have their people here, they love to abuse their right. You know, she knows she's a customer, passenger, and she knows that the flight attendant cannot do anything to her, so she takes advantage of it because she feels like, what are they gonna do? They kind of kick me out, and mostly they're just gonna have me move back to my seat. It's no big deal. Like, think about that shit. Just think about her approach. You know, it's just sad, man. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta tell you today. That little incident that I encountered in the plane.